When I bought the aging Colonial on Maple Ridge Drive, I saw potential, not peeling paint and outdated fixtures, but a blank canvas. The house had good bones, as they say. What it didn't have was charm, functionality, or any trace of modern design. My plan was simple: restore it, modernize it, and make it mine. What I didn't anticipate was the wrath of Karen Holloway, the self-appointed queen of the Homeowners Association. Karen was the kind of woman who carried a clipboard like a sword. Her power came from the HOA rulebook, which she quoted as though it were scripture. Within a week of closing on my house, she was on my doorstep. A polite but pointed smile on her face. "Welcome to the neighborhood," she said, eyeing my old shutters. "We just like to make sure everyone understands our aesthetic guidelines." I thanked her, smiled back, and mentioned my plans for a full renovation, expanding the kitchen, replacing the facade with sustainable materials, adding solar panels, and an artful glass atrium. Her expression froze like wet cement. "That's ambitious," she said. "But, you know, our community prefers a traditional look. No modern eyesores." I thought she was exaggerating. She wasn't. The next week, as my architect finalized designs and we submitted our proposal to the HOA, I received my first notice of noncompliance. Apparently, the style violated Article 7, Section 3B, which forbade non-traditional exterior modifications that disrupt community uniformity. Translation: Karen didn't like it. I attended the HOA meeting armed with blueprints, 3D renders, and my architect's calm confidence. Karen sat at the head of the table, flanked by her loyal committee, all wearing identical disapproving frowns. She tapped her pen like a judge about to deliver a verdict. "This design," she declared, "belongs in a city museum, not in a classic neighborhood like ours." I argued the sustainability angle: recycled wood, water-saving features, energy efficiency, but her mind was made up. "Denied," she said flatly. That night, I sat in my gutted living room, staring at the exposed beams. I could give up, follow the HOA's narrow vision, and build a cookie-cutter Colonial. But that wasn't me. I believed beauty and innovation could coexist with tradition, if only someone dared to try. And so, with every ounce of stubbornness I had, I decided I'd fight back, one blueprint at a time. By spring, the HOA war had escalated. Every time a contractor arrived, Karen appeared, clipboard ready, lips pursed. "That's not an approved dumpster color," she'd announce. Or, "Your scaffolding is 3 inches over the property line." She even measured twice. But I had something she didn't: patience and paperwork. My architect, Lena, and I revised the design, subtly adjusting dimensions, materials, and phrasing, until every line technically complied with the HOA's rules. We called it creative compliance. Karen fumed. "You're exploiting loopholes," she accused during another meeting. "Or," I countered, "I'm following your own bylaws precisely." The neighborhood started to take sides. Some whispered that I was ruining the charm of Maple Ridge. Others secretly admired my defiance. The tension was thick enough to spread with a trowel. Meanwhile, the renovation began to take shape, quietly, methodically. The new structure rose like a phoenix. The atrium, now slightly reduced in size, gleamed with reclaimed glass panels. The solar tiles blended almost invisibly into the roofline. Even the wood siding, a mix of natural tones, paid homage to the colonial past while hinting at something boldly new. Karen, however, saw none of that. She saw only rebellion. One morning, she filed a cease work order, claiming my permit was invalid. The city inspector came by, reviewed everything, and left shaking his head. "Everything's in order," he told me. "Looks like your HOA president's making noise again." When I told Karen the project was fully compliant, she nearly combusted. "This is not what our community stands for," she shouted across her driveway, clutching her phone like a gavel. "You're ruining our property values." But the truth was, the house was becoming something extraordinary. Even passers-by slowed down to watch its transformation. Children stopped on their bikes to stare at the shimmering windows. A retired architect from 2 streets over stopped by just to compliment the craftsmanship. Karen's crusade turned desperate. She started sending anonymous letters. "Neighbors are concerned," they read. But everyone knew who wrote them. Still, I never shouted back. I smiled, waved, and kept building. Because sometimes, the best revenge isn't winning an argument. It's finishing the masterpiece that others said you couldn't. The renovation took nearly 10 months, a symphony of noise, dust, and determination. When the scaffolding finally came down, my house stood reborn. The glass atrium reflected the morning sun like a sculpture. The eco-wood panels breathed warmth into the design, while vertical gardens climbed gracefully up the facade. It wasn't just a house anymore. It was art. Lena came by for the final inspection, eyes gleaming. "You realize this could qualify for the State Architectural Design Awards?" "Right," she said casually. I laughed. "Let's survive the HOA first." We didn't have to wait long. Within hours, Karen appeared, camera in hand, documenting every angle like a crime scene investigator. "This violates community harmony," she said icily. "We'll be filing another complaint." The next HOA meeting was standing room only. Neighbors filled every seat, murmuring as Karen presented her slideshow of infractions. She pointed at the atrium. "Glass structures are prohibited under Section 4C. "Actually," Lena interjected from the back, "the code specifies greenhouse additions. This is a living space. Entirely different classification." Karen sputtered. "It looks like a greenhouse." "It's called Innovation," Lena replied, smiling. A few neighbors chuckled. Others clapped. The vote to fine me failed. For the first time, Karen's control slipped. Days later, something unexpected happened. The local paper featured my house on the front page under the headline, "Modern Marvel Breathes New Life into Maple Ridge." The article praised the blend of sustainability and tradition. The pictures were stunning. My inbox filled with messages from local builders, designers, and even a university architecture department asking to visit. Karen stopped walking her dog past my property after that. Then came the letter, thick, embossed, official. My house had been nominated for the State Architectural Excellence Award. I sat on my porch, letter trembling in my hands, grinning like a fool. The community that once whispered behind curtains now stopped to compliment the design. Even the HOA members, once Karen's allies, began to soften. Beauty, it seemed, was contagious. And for the first time in months, Maple Ridge Drive felt peaceful. But peace never lasts long when Karen's involved. The night of the award ceremony, I wore a simple suit and tried to downplay my nerves. Lena beamed beside me as the judges praised the project for marrying sustainability with artistry. When they called our names, I felt a rush of vindication, not just for the design, but for every sleepless night spent arguing over fence colors and form submissions. We accepted the plaque, engraved with excellence in residential innovation, and posed for photos under golden lights. The next morning, my phone exploded with congratulations. The Maple Ridge Modern, as the paper now called my home, had officially become a local landmark. Karen, predictably, wasn't celebrating. She posted on the neighborhood forum, writing, "Awards don't excuse architectural arrogance." The comments section turned against her instantly. Neighbors defended me, praising the house as a symbol of progress. Someone even started a petition to revise the HOA bylaws, loosening restrictions that had kept the community frozen in 1985. A week later, Karen resigned as HOA president. Personal reasons, the memo read. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel triumphant. But beneath the satisfaction, there was something else, gratitude. Her resistance had forced me to fight harder, to refine my vision, to build something truly worthy of recognition. Without her, maybe the house would have been good, but not great. Today, the atrium glows at dusk, filled with plants and soft light. Children walk by and press their faces to the glass. Couples take engagement photos out front. The same neighborhood that once rejected my ideas now embraces them. Proving that sometimes change needs a bit of friction to spark. Last month, the new HOA president, a kind man named George, asked if I'd help them draft modern design guidelines for future renovations. "We want more homes like yours," he said. I smiled, agreeing. Because what started as a feud had turned into something bigger. A reminder that innovation doesn't destroy community. It can redefine it. As for Karen, she moved 2 towns over. Her new HOA probably has no idea what's coming. And me? Every time I walk past my shining house, award hanging inside the atrium, I whisper with a grin, "Guess who won now, Karen?"